Welcome to yet another ham radio video. This is JKQ4DUX. We're out in the park today, and let's talk about logging. I don't know if it's a huge debate, but the question always comes up: paper versus computer, phone, or other digital ways. So it's just to take a look at what I use, what I used to use, what I'm using now. And let's just start with the tried and true paper logging method. So there are advantages and disadvantages to each. I started out logging paper and then moved on. Right now I'm using some apps to log. But Write in the Rain, very popular because it's good quality paper. And they also have pencils and maybe pens too, but these work well. You can get this style. This, I believe, is the smallest. They make a little bit larger one that I have used, and they make one that folds with the spiral in the center. Or maybe it's not even spiral. Maybe it's bound, but it folds in the center. So that, I mean, you can do it either way. And like I have this set up with the clipboard. You can clip it in there if you're walking around, or if you just want to hold something to hold it while you're writing, you might find a way to make that work. And you can turn this thing different direction, turn your key around, and figure out what works for you. So what are the advantages? This is very unlikely to fail. It's very simple. There's no learning curve, no process of figuring things out. Assume everyone knows how to write. My very first POTA activation, I made the mistake of not bringing a pencil and I had to dig around. Finally I found one somewhere in the vehicle, but that was frustrating. So always have more than one if you break a lead. Like I said, this lead on this one's huge, very unlikely to break. You can get whatever you like to write with and it will work with the paper. Another mistake that I made, getting in a hurry, not writing legibly. So yes, I did have a call sign and the time and everything recorded, but I had trouble. Is that whatever letter? Couldn't make out the letters. Some people have more problems with that than others. Another thing you will need to have is a clock. If you're manually writing time, you need to have a clock that's easy to read and can keep time. So moving on from there, there's a couple of options. You can go the laptop way, or you can do what I did with a phone app and just touch it in on your phone. Many people do that. If you don't like the tiny little keypad on the phone, you can get an old school keyboard or a roll-up one or a Bluetooth one. This is what I have. So let's talk about a couple of the apps that I have used. This one is World Radio League. So this one came out not really that long ago. I want to say last year sometime. And I did join the beta testing group. I would say the difference between this and the other one, which is POTA, is POTA, obviously the name portable logger. It's geared for portable. So POTA is starting with the portable mindset and phones and tablets, and they're working towards a desktop or a web browser, or, you know, that's not here yet, but from what I hear, that can be in the works. And so the World Radio League, they're kind of not necessarily coming the opposite direction, but I believe they released an app and the website version. So what I like about World Radio League is that's synced up. So if I say this was done a couple months ago, all I do is I log here. I can go in on my laptop, go online, and this is all this info is already there. I don't have to do anything. I can take it from that website and then download it to my computer and then put it into the POTA site. So this is maybe a little more friendly for a laptop or desktop at home if you're using a computer, but it does have an app. Whereas, like I said, with POTA, this is designed portable. This is designed with a phone or a tablet in mind. One thing I do like about POTA is when you go to a log, there's just many shortcuts. So pretty much from this box, you can do anything. If you want to change the frequency, you just enter that. Hold on, I go through this. Okay, so I'm going to go 18090, change frequency, hit enter, and it changes it. And then you can go through there and spot. So it's a lot more seamless, easier flow. Like I said, I don't really have anything invested in either of these other than making donations and things like that. But started out with World Radio League and went to Polo, what I'm using now. So just to recap, the pros of doing it on a laptop or a phone, some type of electronic logging. When you're in the field, you're done. You don't have a lot to do when you get home other than upload and download. Where if you do it on paper, you log whatever number of contacts, you have to go home and look at your paper and then spend paperwork time. And I didn't necessarily hate it, but I didn't love it either. And it is more fun to just, when you're done, you're done. One less thing to think about, wrap it up. And what I really enjoy is the being on the air part. So the less I have to do outside of that, whether it's logging, whether it's set up and tear down or whatever else, that's the advantage. Where, as I already stated, the advantage of the paper and pencil, tried and true, not going to fail on you. Your battery's not going to die. It's not going to crash. I mean, you could physically lose the paper, but you're not going to unexpectedly lose your data. So I hope that was helpful. If you're just going to do your first activation, I will say this: maybe you want to start out on paper just because it's one less thing to think about, and you're maybe already nervous. That may be the way to go. That's how I started. And then when I did go to logging on an app, there was a little bit of a learning curve of, okay, now I'm used to the radio part, but now I'm doing something new with looking at a different screen and typing and entering and knowing where to put things. And it was a little bit nerve-wracking the first time or two, but it just becomes second nature, like almost everything else. So I hope you found this helpful. Just want to do a couple of these short videos just to bring some insight into the little things that make things more enjoyable. And I hope to catch you on there soon. This has been yet another ham radio video. This is JKQ4DUX. See you on there soon.